Hey chat, how we doing today? I am just still kind of setting up. I am very short on time today, so there is probably going to be a timer going off within like probably the first 20 minutes of stream. And that's just for me to take my medication. Unfortunately, I was out for so long today that I didn't get the opportunity to take it at the normal time, which is fine. Slightly obnoxious, but otherwise okay. So, today we're doing run cycles. Or just a singular run cycle, depending on how things go. So I do have all the references up here. So this one's going to probably be a lot more intensive than the walk cycle. Also, I forgot to pause the stuff on the other screens. Whoopsies. Okay, there we go. Hey, Likely, how you doing? So we've got quite a fair bit more to do on run cycles specifically. And that's actually just more to the fact that there's more keyframes that I need to keep in mind. So, like, at minimum, there's 5 instead of 4. And that's not counting, like, some of the additional stuff that people do here. So there's, like, 7 on this one. I mean, like, the 7th one is contact, but this here is quite intensive. I might do this as a reference, but I also need, like, a... Okay. So instead of the leg going all the way forward, it actually seems to stay relatively close to the body. It's when you're pushing forward that it... So, like, when he pushes off the leg there... So, first thing that I notice whenever this guy's running. So, that's... I'm going to say probably that's the contact there. So, the other leg's actually quite far out behind, but that's actually the furthest the front leg seems to go on the run cycle. And then... Actually, yeah, probably be around about there. So each time it goes into contact, that's the furthest the leg goes. And then that would probably be the low pose. That's passing. And then there's probably a jump around here before hitting the contact on that one there. So comparing it to this one here, we've got contact, down, pass. Well, it's the in-between for the pass, but this is technically a pass in of itself. And then highest to in between, and then the contact on the next frame. So probably 5 would be more appropriate here. So yeah, contact, down, halfway, pass, up, highest probably, or even just leap, and then contact again. So that should be relatively easy to hopefully get going. Also, it has come to my attention that somebody on YouTube side managed to get themselves jailed. Not like jailed, but like electronics jailed. So, Rip Diamond Daily, I suppose, for the time being. Apparently, he got banned from using electronics for a month. So, that is very unfortunate. Now, I want to get this foot out here, I think. So I need to move this body down quite a bit. Who? Diamond Daily on YouTube side. They managed to... Okay, there we go. They managed to not... Well, I say they managed not. They managed to get themselves banned from electronics for an entire month, as they mentioned in a comment on the YouTube channel. So, unfortunately, we have lost one for the time being, which is fine. Like, I say it's fine, it's not really, but it happens, you know? So, probably around about there, right? Probably even rotate this to... We'll keep it unrotated for the time being. Also, I want to rotate that slightly so it's just even on the ground. There we go. So that's probably going to be our first... I need to take these into consideration too. So I'll keep the down for now. Okay. We're going to delete these last ones. Now, the timing for this is going to be a lot dicier because obviously running is just considerably faster. So I'm thinking probably half the initial frames, so 16 frames for this, I think. So if we half it to 15 and just let the last one be on frame 16, I should probably get away with it. But for the moment, I just want to set up my keyframes first. So we've got 6 total keyframes. I think like 2 frames is probably far too fast, but we'll see. So we'll set that to down. 1, 2. Then this is going to be... Make a marker here. Name this... Wonder what I'd even call this, because it's not the down position, it's not the pass position technically. So I'll name this flow. So this needs to be moved to frame 4. Come on. There we go. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Move that to the next frame. And then we want the pass to be 2 frames from here. 1, 2. Intermediate. Yeah, I suppose that could be the case too. I'll name it int pass. Because there's actually 2 intermediates. There's the intermediate between the down and the pass. And then there's an intermediate between up and contact. So I'm going to call it int pass instead. So that's going to be pass. 1, 2, 2, yep. And then this is going to be up. 1, 2. And that's going to be a marker there, and that's going to be, what's it called? I'm going to name that int con. Okay, I think that's acceptable. Because I can just tweak the timings later on the legs. Interdisynchronous. Is that a word? What does that even... Okay, I guess we're just doing a quick search about what the hell that word means. It doesn't seem to be a... Well, at least I can't find a definition for the word if it exists. Speaking of trying to... 90% sure it's not a word, to be honest, it's not. I just went and checked, it's not a word. Alright, so... 98%. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so down position is the same as the initial position. Actually, I need to hide all of these. So, hide those. Hide that. Actually, crap, I forgot. I need to make sure this middle one here is not hidden as well. Okay, so that should give me pretty much all of them? Yeah. Okay, there we go. You said speaking of... Right, so... Speaking of trying to learn things today, I had a really... I suppose weirdly specific question, and I couldn't find any information on it when I looked it up. But you know how X-ray machines, right? They use radioactivity to take a photo of your bones and internals. So what happens if you put something that's inherently radioactive in an X-ray machine and try to take a photo of it? Like I suppose my theory is that it would still remain as just like a solid white object in the image, but I don't entirely know that for a fact. Like, how does that one work? Like, I'm not a person who knows how a X-ray machine works. Okay, I need to also... Ah, crap, I also need to copy all of these over. So, grab this, Control-C, Control-Shift-V. So that would move the leg. I don't suppose anyone in chat knows how that works, because I certainly don't. So I need to end this at frame 36. Yeah, because I couldn't find any direct information on it, but maybe it's just because I'm not using the right search terms or whatever. That does happen occasionally. Hide those, so now we're only dealing with those for the time being. Cool. So then on the... So up until the up, it's supposed to stay relatively on the ground. The problem is the leg goes up so quickly. So, intermediate passing. So this is slightly higher up there. I just want the leg to be more evenly under the body. The problem is if I do that, it's not going to stay straight, so maybe this needs to be slightly higher. And then pass. This needs to be all the way back at this point. So I'll set this as Alt-G at this point. In fact, no, I'll set it to probably that much. And then this, I'll just lift slightly higher up. And then the up, I still want this to be on the ground. And then at this point, I want this to be moved across. Okay, it's not great. I suppose it could do with a bit of work, though. So I just need a way to quickly swap these two over. Screams of pain and suffering? Yeah, mood. Oh, hi. I'm not even going to bother asking how you're doing, because that tells me basically everything I need to know. Anything you want to scream into the void about today, Foxy? So this is the up position. So this is about as high as I want it to be, I think. Yes, my back. That's unfortunate. They still managed to not do anything about it. Okay, I need to not have that one there. So I can just duplicate that over, that's fine. And how the doctors are shitheads. I mean, we've already figured that one out, to be fair. They didn't even numb my back at all just because I was sedated. Fucks. Do we have to tap the sign? Sedation doesn't equal lack of pain. Do we really need to tap the sign again? Like, you would think they would know better than by that. No prescribed medicine for the pain either. I've come to a hypothesis. Let us hear it then, likely. Really, they didn't prescribe any pain medication. That is ridiculous. Nope. Fucking bastards. Alexa, stop. Alright, just give me a quick second, chat. I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that, chat. That took slightly longer than expected. I don't know why the injection decided it wanted to take a solid minute to be put in, but, you know, it happens. Let's see. Where is it? And you know the funny part is somehow it hurts worse than before I got the injections. I don't know if that's meant to happen or not, but it is, and it is hell. You're not, like, allergic or something, are you? I sincerely hope not. Okay, so... that is the left foot. So I want to Control Shift M and then Control V here. So that should do exactly as I want it to. No red marks and no swelling, so no. Yeah, that's a bit strange, isn't it? I legit can barely bend over. That's a bit concerning, no? Hopefully it wears off after a day, but if it doesn't, like, that's a pretty serious cause of concern. Or move it off that mat. That's not great. I should sincerely hope that you bring this up with them next time, because that is some bullshit. I move in certain ways and boom, huge sharp pain. Yeah, that's not great. Okay, so what do we think Okay, so the legs definitely need to be looked at because they're doing the jerking motion. Okay, so I think it's pausing too much at the down position. So I'm going to give this 1 frame less on down. So grab that by 1. Grab all of these. And move them up by 1. And then I need to end this at frame 34. But yeah, ever since I got home, it's not been doing too great. Okay, so... Well, hopefully you feel better soon, Foxy. A radioactive object won't affect an X-ray image since the machine is looking for specific electrons, though I'm currently on an auction site looking for an X-ray machine to find out. Oh... Well, hey, at least chat's willing to test it out, huh? But that's interesting. I would have imagined that it would have shown, but I suppose if it's looking for specifics, then yeah, I can understand why it wouldn't. Yeah, I just couldn't find any information on it. I wonder if this all actually needs to be decreased. Okay, I'm gonna shrink everything by 1 frame and see if it helps. That would make it severely shortened though, so I do need to be careful about that. Okay, so it does look better for the most part. I think the character needs to spend slightly longer on the ground. Also, thankfully that's already looping by itself, which is really helpful for me. My mom believes I may need to go to the ER or something if it doesn't get better. Yeah, I'm with her on that one, because that is very concerning. The sad part about the whole thing is it's not just my back killing me that's the problem. My hand where they injected the sedation medicine has been hurting as well, but thankfully not as bad as it was before. Yeah, the sedation medication is not great, is it? Okay, I'm going to end this at frame 24. It just flicks up too quickly. I just wish I could move the indicators. I don't want to select the camera. Why are you saying selecting a camera? I didn't say anything about selecting a camera, you daft twit. No. Grab these and just move them back to position, just so I know exactly what's working here. And then connection. So, yeah, the movement's too janky. Like, this could probably fairly easily be fixed via curves, but I feel like there just needs to be some extra frames here. Also, I probably need to fix the rotation on this too. Speaking of sedation, my lord, did I feel like I was high when I woke up? It was a very weird feeling. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with me, but sedation does not have the effect that you would expect it to have on me. Like, at all. In fact, I'm pretty sure there is a sign on my file in the hospital that says do not sedate. Actually, come to think of it, I should probably rotate the body forward, shouldn't I? Probably like around about there. And that's just to get a better position for the legs. So if I rotate this now, I should be able to get something just a little bit more consistent. That shit put me out of instantly though. Like, as soon as I was injected it, I was gone. Man, I wish I could relate. So, Shift D, and just make sure that that's on the... Oh. It's supposed to be on the last connect, not that one. And then Control C, Control Shift V. So I just want to make sure that the body center rotation is consistent. So if I delete these, okay, cool. Now that leg should be a little bit easier to work with. So, anyway, I got some slightly good news. Well, let's hear it then. So if that's the right, then I need to take this moved over. Now, probably rotate this a bit more. Make sure this is relatively flat. Just trying to see the pass position here. And then the up, which is, yeah, the real max that you can go. And then this here. Yeah, it seems about right. Okay, so that should be less janky than it was previously. So now the right foot can be used here. So copy these onto the other side and then Control Shift V. So yeah, the rotation will prevent the knees from jerking. Supervisor called after I told her I had the injections done, got to talking, and she asked me if there's anything I wanted to ask her about the upcoming school year, and I asked if I could be moved to a new area of the school. And she did not argue with me. In fact, she even mentioned that me being over constantly to get under tables in the commons wasn't the best idea as well. Bending over. Yeah, I can't even read because I would have flagged that as being something that just seemed a bit weird. Okay, so yeah, there does need to be some follow through. So especially when it hits the bend up here, it does need to do a little bit of overlap. Let's try and ping where the... But yeah, I'll be in the gym, little gym area now. Okay. Okay, so now I need to double check the movements here to make sure that they're fine. So that is the contact. It's the down. In fact, I wonder if I want to swing this down a little bit. So if that's pass, and that's the mid. I wonder if the... I wonder if this midpoint here, this interim, needs to be slightly further back. So move that further back, rotate that. Okay, that might be slightly better. There just seems to be a little bit of snapping issue there, but that's fine. So then this probably needs to be a bit further back, yeah? Like, not as far, though. So it rotates around there. Let's see, left foot IK is going just fine, I think. So now I just want to copy these. Just on this one, please. Copy that. And then Control Shift B there. Okay, yeah, that works a lot better now. Now I'm just having a look at the knees. In fact, maybe I want to have the legs here slightly more forward. Because it's going to be reaching out towards... In fact, I think I might even want the contacts to be a bit straighter. So that's not so good news, but at least I had options to choose where I want to go. Well, hey, it's something. The next auction for an X-ray machine is on the 15th and 21st, but there's a few people watching them at the moment. Likely, you don't have to full send this bit. You don't have to buy an X-ray machine for this. Like, genuinely, you do not have to buy an X-ray machine to satisfy just a random curiosity that I had. I promise it's not the end of the earth if I don't figure out what the solution to that is. Not like I can stop my chat from doing it, unfortunately, but you know. Okay, I think that is a bit cleaner. I think the leg stretching out forward is probably for the best. You skipped a couple of messages before that one. Oh, apologies. Uh, Maybe an annoying area to be in at first. There's constantly people in that area, but I mean, hey, at least the only thing I gotta worry about bending over for is the toilets. Oh yeah, and she also told me that the time I'd been gone, 2 people had left, meaning 2 new spots opened up, which means more extra work. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yes, but you've infected me with the question, now I need to know. Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry, Likely. You really shouldn't be spending that much money on an x-ray machine, though, because I imagine those things are pretty expensive, right? I'm gonna maybe move this out slightly so it stays a bit more consistent. So, copy that one, and then Control-Shift-V. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere with this run cycle, which is good. The good news is she's willing to accommodate for my current problem. I'm just glad that somebody is willing. Because if, like, there was nobody, I would feel shit out of luck. Alright, so we've got the legs going, chat. I would have preferred if it was a clean 30 or 15 for this animation. I wonder if some of these could spend a little bit more time. I wonder if the space here could do with one extra frame. So between the, I believe that was up in IntCon. Let's see. No idea. Typically, these auctions can vary from dirt cheap, where the shipping costs more than the auction itself, and above market value. That's how I paid 5k for two 40k robot arms. Honestly, fair enough. She even told me that she would pay for me, and told me she cared about me not because of the fact that I'm the better worker, but because she genuinely cares, which really warmed my heart. Honestly, it's so hard to find a good employer like that. I sincerely hope you can stay with her. Because it does genuinely sound like she cares. So I wonder if the pass and up needs to be extended out a bit here. In fact, the entire motion between the slot here. So like this here, the falling motion for the contact can probably stay the way that it is. I keep trying to grab the marker in the default way, even though it's not how these things work. It should be how they work, but it's not. And then this one here, which is the int pass. So it goes con down, straight into int pass, and then it slows down slightly. God dang it. Okay, come on. Move. You're not a rusty weather vane, motherfucker. These. And then this should pass it through what I wanted it to be. And then end this at 30. Yeah, I feel like that's too short though if I do it like that. Like, how fast is the average? Like, the problem with the reference videos is that they go too slowly for me to be able to tell. So, if we're talking about this... Oh, by the way, Cyclonic, if you need a person to rate it when you end, I have someone I follow that does art, and she's quite funny as well, and she's a dude. Okay, interesting. Yeah, just send me over the name on Discord, and I'll have a look at it. I know you like Dirk, so I figured I'd suggest. Oh, fair enough. Because if not, I would have just rated Alpha Red again, because I know he's still on Subathon at the moment. But yeah, I'm always up for recommendations. So, I'm just looking at this reference right here. So... First of all, I need to know how many frames are in this. 720p, so the fuck is a Dirk? How do I explain this? Foxy, you explain. I'm not well versed in furry, so I'll leave the floor to you, Foxy. So that's 30 frames per second. So that's basically a contact pose there. Goofy name for dragon. So that's a contact there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it's like... You expect me to believe that that shit's like 7 frames? There is... Oh, so like a scaly. Yeah, I suppose you could call it that. Let's try... I'm gonna need to go through so many of these. Like a ridiculous amount of these. Okay, so it's like a... He's prepping for a run. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's not exactly what I want. The camera moves too much. I could check... Actually, hang on, this works. I'm assuming this is animated at 30, right? Yeah. Well, actually, this is probably more accurately... Be right back, gotta put the ice pack back in the freezer. I mean, fair enough. So, I'm probably safe to assume this is animated in 24s, because that is the standard. Okay, so I just need to find the contact. So, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Yeah, so this is animated in 24s. So, if I wanted to be more accurate, I'd have to animate mine in 15s. So, yeah, that seems about right. So, I suppose I'm doing the correct amount. Otherwise, maybe I want this one here to be shorter, but extend the parts here. So, we'll swap those two and see how it goes. And then extend the down into parts. Okay, that probably works a bit better. And then that remains correct. So now I want this here. So the up and the int con, I want this to be one less. Shit, hang on, am I high? What the hell's gone on here? I don't think the... Okay, yeah, it is supposed to be one. So then the down and the int pass, I want this to be extended out a bit. Okay, I think that works slightly better. But the problem is the leg seems to rock a lot, especially in this interim here. So I do need to keep that in mind when I just edit these legs. So this front leg rocks a fair bit. So I want this to be relatively flat on the ground. I want this to rotate along. Yeah, because for whatever reason just snaps right here. I don't want to be doing that. So... probably want it to be rotated a bit more there. Yeah, it sort of drags though. That's the only issue. So probably around about there. Yeah, but then it just immediately snaps up there. It's not quite what I want. So I don't know if that's a case of the body not being in the correct position, or if that's a case of the leg deciding it doesn't really want to do what I ask of it. I'm going to say maybe it's body position. Okay, so... that immediately lifts off the ground. I'm not too fond of that idea. I think I ended up getting an answer. Okay. Boring one, though? Oh, unfortunate. The only reason this entire, like, thought process started was because my grandmother was going in for an x-ray for her neck. And I asked somebody at the clinic about it, and I didn't get an answer before I left, unfortunately. Back? Welcome back, Foxy. So I'm going to Alt-R that. I'm actually just going to drag it out. Actually, I'm messing this up to the corner, aren't I? Okay, let's try not backing about with this time. Oh, that's probably why it's looking so weird, because it's randomly doing that. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. So this needs to be brought along further. That needs to be rotated. It just randomly straightens out. Why? G is in the... Well, sorry, the midsection's in the right position. So the grab is fine. By the way, to better explain how bad the pain is currently, I can't even look down fully with my head because I feel the pain just shoot down the nerves of my spine. And the same with my legs. I can't even extend my legs at the knees without sharp pain shooting into my back. What, they fucking do a spinal tap without permission? What the hell is this? No, because, like, for real, what the hell have they done to your back to cause that? So... that's the correct position there. That's fine, though it could do a little bit of tweaking. So that needs to be snapped. Although the position could be changed slightly. Yeah, that's fine. You can use radioactive items to capture images with X-ray film, but it takes a long time. So, in theory, it could cause artifacting in an image, but the utter shitload that the machine produces is probably enough to make it not matter. Okay, you know what? That tracks. So, theoretically, still going to register to bid on the auction. Still going to do it anyway, even though we technically have an answer. I suppose if you want to know the answer to anything, just start a Twitch stream and then just harass your viewers with the same question you have, and you'll find an answer eventually. Okay, so I need to figure out what the motion between here and there is, because that's the thing that's causing the weird snapping issue. I have no idea what the fuck they did. All I know is that they most likely did it quickly without any care in the world because they were literally rushing me while in the room while I was preparing to lay on the bed. Oh, that... What, were they busy to get to lunch? Like, what the fuck? So, theoretically, right, if you were to interfere with an X-ray machine directly, you would have to find basically a radioactive object that would put out more radiation than what the X-ray machine is capable of. Which, to be fair, I think is pretty few and far in between in terms of items you could use, right? Like, the first thing that comes to mind is californium, but I couldn't think of much else that might affect an X-ray machine. Looking at the time I sent the DM to the SB, it's 30 minutes after my appointment time, so yeah, it definitely did it quickly. Yeah, they were probably going way too rough, to be honest. Okay, so what if I just make sure I get the right one? I'm gonna duplicate this over to here, and then I'm just going to move this one. Move this one here. Okay, so I think that swings a lot better. Alright, so let's try this then. So if I do that and copy these, and then Control-Shift-V here. Let's see how this looks. Okay, you know what? That looks a lot nicer, chat. I think it was just the weird movement of the leg initially that was causing my brain to ping it as something wrong. But it was just the back of the leg just glitching out. But this snap here, I think, is entirely within reasonable bounds. Because, like, yeah, that would be the upper maximum, and then when it gets off the ground, it would fling back like that. Let's see. Oh yeah, another thing that happened when I was coming out of sedation, apparently the guy next to my mum scratched her car really bad with their vehicle, so when I woke up, she was standing outside on her phone calling the police, I assume. Do police in the States cover civil cases like that? I didn't think they did. Like, if it was cops in my country, they'd probably just tell you to get fucked, to be honest. Okay, so we've got the full leg movement here. So I guess next I just start working on the hip movement. So Alt H to unhide all of those. And then the slot here I can probably hide. Yeah, it's for insurance purposes. Honestly, yeah, that tracks. I literally cannot type tonight. Unfortunate. Let's just grab the entire lot and just remove anything that I need. So I'll keep the head one and then hide the rest of those. Yeah, I think that's acceptable. The stuff they gave me fucked with my brain. Foxy, not to be that person, however, I don't think you had much to mess with in the first place. However, oh, there's a however in here? What's up, Likely? Okay, so for the motion... Hey now, you're not denying it, Foxy. That's the important one. So I'm assuming this is the contact here. I may have a sloth brain, but I'm not entirely dumb. Don't you mean small? Misspelling, I swear. Oh yeah, I'm sure it was Foxy. Also, did I... Fuck off, Windows. Dictate this, you bastard. So... Oh, I didn't change the down contact position. In fact, I didn't even change any of these. These are supposed to be... Yeah, moved over. So if that's supposed to be the contact there... So that is supposed to be contact, so this is supposed to be moved over one. I think. Wait, none the fuck? Please, the pain is getting to my brain. X-ray machines produce ionized radiation, which natural elements don't produce without getting excited or ionized. I mean, yeah, that's basic chemistry. Where are you getting at with this, Likely? What are you getting at here? So, all this stuff still needs to be moved. Okay, so I need to move this slot here to be in line with that lot there. And then anything on this down position here, I think this is actually supposed to be contact. Okay, yeah, so now if I hide all the stuff except for the stuff that I need now, this should work as intended, I hope. Okay, that looks correct. Also, there's an IK hand in here. Knob off. So, yeah, these additional frames, and there's nothing in the interconnected, or the inter-contact because of the fact that I haven't keyframed anything there. Honestly, if you want to quote me with the all caps message with the misspelling, I won't be against it. Honestly, yeah, okay, bet. Alright, this one is heading straight into the quote book. I just need to be able to get into my Discord because OBS is taking up most of the screen. Where is my quote book? There we go. So, if the machine only looks for said radiation, the only way for radioactive elements to show up on the X-ray would be by setting off a nuke, at which point you would have other problems to deal with in theory. So what you're saying is it is possible. So what you're saying is likely it is technically possible. Alright, get rid of that. I was technically typing out smooth, but you know, you seeing it as small instead makes it quite funny. I said smoth at the time. Like, I said it the exact way you spelt it, Foxy. Like, that one's on you at that point. So I imagine with the body throwing out the leg, like, this is going to have a lot more motion to it. So at the point where the body is up, like, that's going to be really moved. I'm going to say probably 15 on this one. In fact, I'm going to even say that the movement happens on the pass itself. So, copy that, and then Control-Shift-V. Going to a different auction site now? Likely no. Caution, brain malfunctioning, needs reboot. Probably a bit of bowling ball polish for how smooth it is. Like... Where's the fucking image, chat? Where's the fucking image? This is Foxy. This is Foxy right here, chat. Unfortunately, this is not the image I was looking for, but it's close enough. So I'm not going to complain. So I need to make sure that this stays unrotated on the down specifically. And then I can edit the curves for it to stay in that position longer. In fact, I'll do that now. Okay, sure, I'll just cut open my scalp and pull out my brain to rub oil on it. I just imagine it's like one of those hinge latch things. I love how you just have that as an emote, likely. Okay, so where is my rotation? It would be this one here, so just get rid of all that, and there we go. So I just want the lead up to this to be like that. And I probably want these ones here, like this one specifically, I may just want this to be smaller. So if I shift D along the X, so it... Oh. Hmm. Okay, that probably works just fine. Probably just need to scale this back. In fact, I'm gonna unscale that one there. I'm gonna scale these both at the same time so they... are the same size by the time that I do that. And then I'm going to duplicate the slot here. So this goes from down to contact. Also, I have no idea what the hell my dog is doing, but we should stop. And then using this, I can... I believe it's Control Shift... That's not Control Shift M. Control M. Okay. So it's over 0... It's over 0 value. I keep getting that wrong. I always think it's over 0 time and not 0 value, but I'm always wrong every time. Okay, I think we're good on that one. Although these could probably stand to be just a smidge less rotated. Why? So probably even just -5 on each of these would probably suit this slightly better. Okay, yeah, that works. So now chest. So I just need to do the movement here. Now the pass is probably... I love how now we're just doing the brain emotes. Or the fact that Foxy just lacks one sometimes, especially when it comes to typing. So probably, yeah, 10 degrees to even this out. And then I do roughly a similar... In fact, can't I just... I don't know if this will work, chat, but I'm willing to try. So grab both of these. So grab that one, grab that one. There is no fucking way this works. However, I am willing to try. So copy this at frame 1. And then into... Got paid most of my back pay, so I got a new 3D resin printer on the way. Oh, really? What kind? Okay, I'm cooking here. I'm probably burning, but I'm probably cooking as well. So if I copy that over, so the hips will move in that direction. So I probably want the body to be rotated in the other direction, right? Anycubic Photon Mono M7 Max? That's a fairly expensive one, isn't it? Although, to be fair, that's coming from the person who owns a generic resin printer, so maybe I shouldn't be talking too much shit. So what the hell is this doing here? Get out of here. think that's correct. Yeah, okay, no, that is correct. I was just double checking my references to make sure I was going in the right direction. So, upper body, copy that. And then same on the pass here, Control Shift V. And then doing the same thing as last time. Right. Actually, I think that I said last time that the body was fine swinging independently of the hips. I'm gonna just quickly double check this, because isn't it the big fuck off resin printer? I think I watched somebody make a clear plastic front for a helmet one time using one of these things. It's the largest size I could find. My last one only lasted 4 months. What the hell did you do to it? Yeah, no, this is the exact same one I was thinking about. Like, I'm pretty sure this thing is absolutely huge. Photon Mono M7. Oh, apparently it comes with, on the website at least, it comes with a free 1 kilogram resin. So what's the sizing on this thing? I didn't do anything, it just took a shit. Honestly, yeah, that tracks for a resin printer, honestly. Yeah, 223 by 126 by 230 print space. That's a pretty large printer. Like, you're approaching FDM sizing at that point. Just make sure you have good ventilation for that room because of the, you know, toxic fumes. Like, I've only ever run my own resin printer like maybe 4 or 5 times, and every single time I've just had every single window open. 298 by 164 by 300mm, yeah, like, it's pretty large. Are we perhaps just overcompensating just a smidge? Also, that's not even, is it? Why is that the way it is? Is it because of the central one? No. Oh, actually, it might be because of the timing of the end here. Yeah, it's probably why. So, it should be fine, I suppose. So I'll just make sure I scale these up a bit. Yeah, I think that works pretty smoothly. My last one was the Saturn 3, and it was too small a few times. Yeah, I think the Saturn 3 is pretty small in general, though. I just want to make sure that the twist is not too... Yeah, it's not overly exuberant, so I'm not concerned. Plus, the fun little thing, chat, and I've never shown this on a stream yet, but there is a funny little thing here, which I have not used a single time, called NLA, or non-linear animation. So what you can do with this funny little thing is you can actually combine animations together, but more importantly, you can speed them up and slow them down without touching the original animation. I like it because it auto-pours resin. Really? That's pretty neat, actually. Alright, goodbye. I just found out something new while editing a clip to send into the meme channel. Apparently, Clipchamp has Minecraft templates that are animated. Oh, really? Neat. So... yeah, I think the running so far is fine. So I'm going to edit the head now. So yeah, the fun thing, I'm going to show this just briefly. So this is the NLA, the non-linear animator. So fun things you can do with these is you can actually compress these animations down, and then you can speed them up and slow them down. So like, say you have a walking animation that's slightly too slow for the speed that you're moving your main body at. You can up the animation speed slightly. So when you're using that, the real discernment is when is it too fast for walking, when do you switch to jogging or running? That's the real discernment of doing animation. So for the down, I want to rotate this. This is probably going to be a little bit more intensive, so I'll give this like double the head movement. And then, yeah, I can just duplicate those over to the other ones here. So looking at this from other angles, it looks fine. Is the head moving too much? Probably not, actually. I think maybe I'm over-twisting on the body, though. But it's hard to tell unless the arms are also moving, so I'll just have to change that in a moment. In fact, I think even the head might not be turned enough. So, Shift D and move that into the same down position. Okay, yeah, that just gives it just that little bit more life there. But I also think that the graph for this one just needs to be changed slightly. I think I want this here to be slow in, slow out. So yeah, if I duplicate these two. So, same position. What do we think, chat? Do we think the head is moving too much, or do we think this is roughly the amount we'd want? I think that's actually more than enough head animation. Dude's jamming? For real, dude's jamming. Dude heard the bloody Cyclonic Flame stream OST and is for real jamming. Alright, so... Peltier. I have no idea what that means, but fair enough. Ignore that? Why am I... Okay, I'm not ignoring that, actually. What the fuck does that mean? Thermoelectric cooler. Although, mind you, that's the AI. How many times have I told this motherfucker to not give me AI results? Peltier cooler kit. Oh, fair enough. Alright, time to do something about these arms. Because they're not swinging nearly enough, that's for sure. Okay, Alt H. Now the ones that I need are this one here, this one here, and these ones. In fact, yeah, I'll just hide all the rest of these because I only do one set at a time. I was on Amazon, somehow my text box changed to Twitch. I mean, hey, it happens. It happens to the best of us. Alright, let's see what we've got in terms of arm references here. So, looking at wide swing angles here, probably a lot of flick on the contact, which is important here. So we've got a lot of drag and overlap coming into the contact here. So we've got heavy... So, like, I don't think this is correct. I don't think this contact pose is correct. And the only reason I say that is because at this point in contact, the hand is already flicked back. If this was true contact, that would not be moving yet. That hand would be neutral at best. This is fine. This probably isn't. Like, this contact here is probably also fine, especially if you're already thought my browser was just lagging. Yeah, understandable. Like, if you were really flicking your hand up, then this would probably be fine. But there should be far more overlap there than it actually is. Can you get the fuck out of here with the circus music? Can you not, for once in your life? Thank you. I was about to call Spotify Twitter and then Tumblr in quick succession before realizing it was called Spotify. Bruh. Alright, so... I need to really swing this back. Sleepy bounce. Okay, so the down position, the arm is already starting to move, but I think I want the int pass here to be almost the same BPN. For real? Huh, neat. So at this point, I actually want this to be what would be the passing otherwise. And then I want this one to be more evened out. And then the actual pass position's already moving towards the direction of the contact here. So then the up position... Like, it's really strange because the up position here is actually almost a 45-degree angle, which I don't really ascribe to here. So, I want this here. I want this plot to be duplicated to this here. So then this contact, I want it to be all the way forward. In fact, I'll even probably just have it a bit lower. So, passing is already moving up towards that. In fact, I'll even just give this a little bit of movement here. It moves so fast in between here, though, so I don't know if this is the acceptable speed for it to go. I could move this down a bit more. In fact, I think that's probably better. So it... Yeah, that looks good. Although there does still need to be a bit of overlap coming up into that down position, but that's... Actually, I can probably do that. In fact, I probably even want the arm to still be stretched out here. Yeah, that feels a little bit more natural. So if I set this to 15 for the second. That looks okay. Sorry, chat. I know it always peaks the microphone whenever I sneeze. So then I want the position here to be opposite, I think. So on the down position, I want, yeah, so the down position's still correct, although it probably could just... like that, and then the intermediate pass, it is probably just a little bit too curved in there. But the pass should, yeah, be just like that. Probably just a little bit more bend. But I think this is more or less correct. So if that's the int pass, like you'd barely be seeing it from the side at this point. And then the pass, yeah, probably... in fact, no. That should still be relatively close to the body. It's at the pass point where it's starting to show past the body. And then the up is, yeah, that's the correct position. Probably a little bit less. And then this swings all the way back. Probably even just a little bit less than that. Okay, so it should be good. Clip. Every time with the sneezes, it's always the same joke. Oh, I should clip that. Okay, so the arm motion seems to be okay, although it does seem to be stalling a little bit at the bottom. Like, it feels like it's stalling. And I know logically it's not, it's just slowing down. But it feels stall-ish. So maybe I want to move this slightly more? Yeah, probably better like that. Although it feels like there's just a bit of stall, but not enough overshoot. Like, I know logically the shoulder is rotating just fine. I think probably the elbow on here just needs to be just a little bit more rotation. Okay, yeah, that feels a little bit better. I'll be sure to actually do and make a compilation video then. What, of the times that you threatened to clip me, or the times that I've sneezed? Because I'm pretty sure anyone who's watched my videos, like, in the past knows about this sneeze thing that I've got. And to be honest, if this is how I get found out and end up popular, then so be it. So the down position looks fine. Yeah, that's good. And then the int contact, probably just a little bit less motion on that, to be honest. But oh no, actually, come to think of it, it looks fine. Gonna have A feather in your mouse in case of a large raid? Don't worry, I already have the nuclear sirens for the large raid. I, I don't need a feather for, or pepper on my desk for that matter before you even mention that. Because I know that's going to be the next suggestion. Alright, so the next thing I want to do wrist motions. So, Control I and then hide that. So, on this motion here, I do want that to be neutral. And then on probably the int pass is where I want this to be the most obvious. Paper makes you sneeze. Pepper. As in the funny seasoning. And then on the down position, I do want this to be rotated. Okay, that took way longer than it needed to, but the meme is sent in Discord. Oh boy. And then on the pass here, I do want this to be fairly rotated. So yeah, I do want this to be neutral in both positions. Maybe slightly less rotation though would probably work a bit better. In fact, I'm going to Alt-R. I'm going to say 4 degrees for that. Alt-R. Six degrees maybe. I'm gonna say 10 for the movements on the pass. Okay, so XX and then 10 degrees there. So I did have this on int pass. So maybe I want this on int pass as well. Okay, that certainly works. Okay, and figured it was fitting. I can only imagine what this is going to look like. I don't think I can check it right now, but... Let's make in general chat. Oh, okay. So is that the X-ray machine you were thinking of buying, likely? Because if so, I'm surprised that are you allowed to sell that on an auction site? Although I imagine I don't know if there's any required certifications to use something like that. I imagine there would be. It's a dumb one, but it's relatable. Yeah, I'll have a look at it after stream. So, yeah, I think this is good. So, I'll grab this slot here. So, grab this one, this one, this one. Invert that, hide those. And grab this. So, Control C. And then Alt H. Control I. Control Shift M. Control I and hide that. So now I've got all those. So now I can do the funny thing that I've done before, which is Control Shift V, Shift D, and then plus 31. Or actually just plus 30 should probably be sufficient. Yeah, it's 31. Okay. No, it's 30. It's plus 30. It just shows as 31 sometimes. And then G minus... I think this is 15? I think it's 15. So... yeah, that's correct. Cool. So now I should just be able to delete these and... yeah, okay, I think the body rotation is a bit much, but otherwise it should be fine. They'll sell it to you, the FBI may deliver it with a few questions. Okay, but like, how are you going to explain to the FBI that the reason you bought an X-ray machine was because you wanted to test it on radioactive materials? Like, how do you go about explaining that to an FBI agent? There's no theoreticals here either, because I know you were intending on buying that damn machine, so why? Like, how would you even justify this? Okay, and then hide the rest of those, because I want to see this movement here. So... I'm going to say -3 for both of these. Copy there, and then Control-Shift-B. You just tell them that. But then the next question they have to ask is, why are you buying radioactive materials to test in an X-ray machine? Worst they can do is shoot your yeah, not gonna finish that sentence. Okay, like the initial running speed looks slow, but I can definitely, if I'm using it in NLA, I can definitely do something about that. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I can just save this. And like, if I ever want to get rid of it, I can just delete, because these are two separate objects, I can just delete this and then clear out the walk cycle here. Also, I just need to quickly hide this, because I want this to use this walk cycle. So this is the... wait, why is this using the walk cycle now? This should be a clean dupe, not a... oh crap, I accidentally reversed them. Okay, never mind. Hang on a second. Sorry, chat. So this is the walk cycle. So I want to go into object mode, pose mode for this one, and I want to set this to be the walk cycle. So now that works as intended, and if I go into the other one, this should still be in the run cycle. I have many concerns, yeah. You can get radioactive stuff from Goodwill or a mine shaft in Arizona. I mean, to be fair, like, I do own maybe a singular radioactive glass, but those are pretty hard to come by, aren't they? Also, unless you actually live in Arizona, I imagine getting into a mine shaft that has radioactive goods would be a little bit more difficult than what you're proposing. Okay, I think this should be fine. So we've got 2 of these now. The running is probably a bit slow. So if I was going to use it for an actual run cycle, I'd probably have to speed up to like double the speed. They're abandoned mine shafts. Don't say it, 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 don't say it. But yeah, like, I think, Can I scale? Okay, I'm gonna try something. Like, it's already finished, but I can actually just do this. So I can scale this. I need to... Can't I scale like this, though? I'd have to scale to like 0.5 though. Yes, 0.5. Okay, no, that doesn't work like that. Oh wait, crap, I'm accidentally editing the walk cycle, not the run cycle. So I need to go into pose, I need to go into object mode, I need to go into pose mode for this. So if I grab all of these, grab everything in here and scale this to 0.5. So this should theoretically be half. Okay, it's probably a bit too fast to be honest. Plays Minecraft cave noise. Probably like scale by 0.75. Okay, yeah, that's what the NLA is for though. Okay, so I think with that I'm probably going to end off the stream. Now, just quickly revert this and make sure I haven't broken anything. And then Foxy, in their infinite wisdom, has sent me somebody to raid. Are they still online, Foxy? Can you just quickly check? Actually, I don't even know why I ask you when I can just check myself. It's a little bit lazy of me, I'm sorry. Let's see if they are still online. Yes, it looks like it. Okay, cool. So I shall end off the stream there. At least we got another thing done. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but it's a toss-up between maybe a crawling animation and a swimming animation. I haven't quite decided yet, provided everything doesn't go to shit in the meantime. So, I shall see y'all in the next stream.